From Global's newsroom, 12:40. Good afternoon. Andrew Peach on LBC News. Here are the headlines. As missiles continue to be fired by both sides in the Iran war, it could be a significant day in the Islamic Republic because a replacement for Ali Khamenei as supreme leader has been chosen. The Foreign Secretary says Sir Keir Starmer won't turn to rhetoric or hyperbole and focus on calm, steady decision-making despite criticism from Donald Trump. Lebanon's health minister says 83 children are among 400 killed in a week of conflict between Hezbollah and Israel. The Pope has used his Sunday address to urge an end to the violence and renewed efforts for dialogue.
This is LBC News.
Let's go to Istanbul now, and Borzu Daraghi is an Iranian-American journalist who's worked for The Independent, the FT, and other publications. He's on the line now to talk a bit more about the potential replacements for Ayatollah Khamenei. Are you surprised that they picked a new supreme leader within a week, Borzu?
No, I'm not that surprised. I think that the fix was somewhat in. It does appear, and it's not confirmed yet, but from some of the hints from the officials, it does appear that the new supreme leader is going to be the son of the previous supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, and that is, I think, in many ways, really bad news for everybody.
Because that's zero regime change.
It's not only zero regime change, it might be worse. I mean, the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, he was kind of an interesting life story. He was into literature. He was a little bit of like leftist leanings and so on. This guy, we don't know anything about him. He never gives a speech. He's never had, like his dad had, book reviews and movie reviews on his website. We don't know what his thinking is. All we do know is that he was largely responsible for some of the most severe violence against protesters in recent decades, and that he was overseeing that. And we also know that he's 57 years old, and we know that his dad and his wife were just killed in a U.S.-Israeli airstrike. So he's going to be really mad and really angry and full of venom and seeking vengeance.
Okay, so every reason to expect that the regime will be just as tough domestically. And are you saying really no idea how he might handle the foreign policy challenges in front of him because we know so little about what he thinks?
I think we have some idea of how he might handle it just because he's so close to the Revolutionary Guard. That is the military commanders that are overseeing the war effort now and have been running the country de facto for years now. And he is like their man. And according to leaks and other reporting, it was the Revolutionary Guard that pushed for Mujtaba Khamenei. And that is why there is not such a huge surprise that he is becoming the next supreme leader, more likely than not.
Having said that, I don't suppose any of the choices of supreme leader would have taken Iran off in a particularly different direction.
Well, maybe they would have. There are some more moderate clerics. There are some that are more blank slates. But just the fact of, think about it, they just killed his dad and his wife. You know, think about how much rage he must be filled with at this point and how much retribution he must be seeking.
What could he do, though? Because Iran's military are seriously degraded.
Are they? I mean, we get these reports. They're kind of heavily tailored by the U.S. and the Israeli authorities. We don't really know what they're capable of at this point. We get assessments that are more like theoretical than anything else. And then all of a sudden we get surprises like hitting the desalination plant in Bahrain and so on. So I'm not sure of that. If they are degraded, it could be temporary as well, because Iran has built hardened missile production and drone production facilities in underground cities in mountains. Have those been destroyed yet? We don't know. And you know what? I don't think the Americans know yet.
Do you have any sense of what reaction there'll be inside Iran? Because it may be impossible to know. What I'm always really struggling to do is go, okay, there are a substantial number of people in Iran who are opposed to the regime. On the other hand, there's a population of 90 million people. How big a proportion of that population are opposed to the current regime as it stands?
I think a lot of people are opposed to the regime. I think a huge number, definitely a majority. But are they willing to risk their lives to go out onto the streets for a war effort that is basically owned by other countries and that don't apparently seem to have the benefit of Iranians in mind? I think that's the calculation people are making. Plus, here's the thing. You're talking about women, students, liberals, activists, on the one side, and then like hardened fanatic Islamist killers on the other side. Who's going to win in that battle? Iranian people realize how that's going to turn out. So what are they going to go out into the streets with their banners?
Bozu, thank you very much indeed for that. Bozu Draghi is from, he's an Iranian-American journalist, but he was talking to us live from the airport in Istanbul today.